Hello and welcome to another session of Karen's Colours. I'm Dr. Karen and these are my colour conversations. It's that time again for another monthly reading, and this time we're going to be looking at each of your birthday months in terms of what will happen in December. For this month's reading, I've decided to use a very simple oracle card to accompany it. It's called the Mystic Journey Oracle, and it consists of a card with a single word. And let's see what it has to say that might accompany the readings that are to follow. I certainly hope you've been getting something positive out of the readings I've been doing this year. I'll continue on for a little while longer before I make a decision about whether or not to continue them. They haven't received a great deal of interest so far, but I'm extremely hopeful. And as Cash Peters would have it, just keep on. If it's your soul's journey, you'll get there. So that's where I'm going. All right, I'd like to welcome back those of you who have been following this series of sessions, and I hope that your colour readings for each month have had something of interest for you that's helped to guide you through that month. It has been a very tumultuous year across the world, and we're now coming to the close of it, and hopefully by the end of this upcoming month, we'll be back to some sort of normality for the new year for 2026. But for now, let's just look at December 2025. If you're new here, this is not the sort of reading that you would find in a tarot reading. This is done per month because we tend to resonate to our birth months regardless of our cultural backgrounds, and also because colours don't read quite the same as tarot cards do. But I hope you'll find it interesting enough to come back. Let's see, shall we? So let's have a reading for the people born in the month of January for December 2025. And firstly, we'll begin with an oracle card. And having chosen that oracle, we'll now pop it under there to look at the end of the reading. And now, some colour cards to describe the journey, the process the people born in the month of January will undergo in December of this year. Oh, they don't really want to shuffle today for some reason. Ah, dear. Okay. So we begin the month with pink on pink. We move on to green on black. And we end the month with cyan on green. And the underlying energy is red over white. Now, the first thing we notice here is that there are two colours that are repeated. The first, of course, is pink. It's seen both in the need or drive internally. It's also seen in the action that is taken as a result of that need or drive. But the other colour is green. Now, interestingly, green is the opposite of pink. So we have here a swinging from one extreme to the other within the same reading. The green here in the middle of the month comes through as the action you're taking, and by the end of the month it is the underlying need or drive that furthers your travel through the month. The underlying energy here is red over white. Now, this underlying energy influences the entirety of the month, and so there are some interesting things that will happen here because we have here two lots of opposites, pink and green, but also green and red. And a third one, if you look at it carefully enough, is black and white. This means that the entire reading, it gives you a swinging backwards and forwards from various different extremes. And that can be either extremely exciting, it can also be just a little bit uncomfortable. It depends on what your particular circumstances are. But anyway, for people born in the month of January, the underlying energy or need or drive that happens here is that you need some inspiration. You need to have some sort of experience or knowledge, or even just develop some curiosity about what's going on in the world around you. The white internally is an emptiness. There is a lot of space inside your head that could be filled. And what are you going to fill it with? Well, red in the real world actually is just a little bit iffy when one considers just of all the different colors you could have chosen. The red externally means that you're going to be doing things abruptly, spontaneously, not exactly paying attention to what you need to know or what you need to do or what the consequences or the outcomes of anything is going to be. It's like you're going to try and fill this emptiness with this ability to just simply jump at anything and everything. But there's always a risk when we have red in the real world that you will either overdo it or that you might even spill blood. Red as an action is potentially dangerous. What is of interest here, though, is that when we mix red and white together, we end up with pink. Pink is the energy that you're coming into the month with. But here it is an energy that permeates both your exterior and your interior. Your need or drive for some sort of survival mechanism, because pink is ultimately vulnerability. So you need to be able to survive and live. In the real world comes out as having to need assistance. Have you been ill? Was there something in November that caused you to need to ask for help from others? Or has that help been foisted upon you without you being able to resist it even? Pink and pink together is always the ultimate, I can't say no. And when it's in the past, it means that you've not been able to stand up for yourself. This is definitely standing up energy. And because it also permeates the entirety of the month, including what you are bringing into the month with you, this inability to say no actually can be transformed quite easily into, yeah, I'll stand up for myself. And yes, I will be able to choose what I want to do. I want to be my own boss. If we take these two energies and put them together, the pink over white gives us an inverse justice system, if you like. White internally means, as I said, that emptiness, that inability to fill it with, or fill your internal spaces with something that is legitimately able to direct you into whatever it is that you need to do. Pink in the real world is the vulnerability of not being able to stand up. And in fact, this tends to suggest that some sort of injustice has been done to you. You've not had a fair go up until now. But when we have red over pink, that need for justice, that need for being able to love yourself and be loved by others comes through as you then creating some sort of passionate moment. But be cautious, because red and pink, whenever they appear together, have to do with a pregnancy of sorts. Now, it could be an actual physical pregnancy. It could also be simply that waiting time while some sort of scheme, some sort of goal, some activity is gestating. All right, so we have this gestation taking place here, where you are finding yourself in a state of limbo, really, for the time being. You've got energy in the real world, you're taking risks, but those risks are coming because of the vulnerability that you feel internally. And that can actually create for you a rather interesting outcome in whatever it is that you are involved in at the time. When we look at what's happening in the middle of the month, we have here green on black. Black means that you have withdrawn. You're taking time out. You are retreating from the world. You're withdrawing inside yourself because that's a safe place to be. You're reconsidering your options. And in the real world, you are looking at the options that are available to you. You might even be actively seeking options. Maybe you're doing some research quietly, surreptitiously, in order to find how you're going to escape from whatever this situation was back here, because this has been somebody taking advantage of you. Now you want to get away from that. If we take these two together, green over white is actually, it's a reversal of being able to begin new life again. It's sort of like a near-death experience, if you like. There's been a flash of some sort of realization that now you need to get away. You need to find a new pasture, a new direction to take off in. Red on black, on the other hand, is associated with sexuality. Now, that's not sex or gender. This is how you present yourself to the world. Are you a browbeaten person who is constantly being punished for something? Or are you the sort of person who has the inner strength, because you have all of the resources you need, in order to stand up and fight back whatever it is that is going on in your life, particularly as you're coming out of this sort of phase here? Whereas the red and white together create pink, red and black together are almost as far away from pink as you can get and still maintain that same hue direction. As we come into the future, you've got cyan on green. You're still looking for those new pastures, that new life, and probably you're finding that in the real world, it's pretty easy to start off again. Life is peaceful. Life is calm. By the end of the month, you're going to find yourself enjoying the fact that your new life has now created for you the sort of stability that you really want. But remember, again, you've still got this underlying energy working here. Cyan on white is a reaction to an emptiness or a new beginning that will enable you to create bliss, but it's bliss based on very little. On the other hand, red and green are opposites on the color wheel. And here we have, I need new space, I need to get away, I need to start off in a different area with new values, new ideas, new ways of approaching life. And in the real world, I'm taking risks in doing so. So the whole thing has to do with a journey from vulnerability through this being able to break away and do something different, to an area or a time in which by the end of the month, you're starting to feel as though you've managed to create your escape and you're quite happy and content with the way in which things have turned out. But you needed to go through this period of a near-death experience, in other words, a massive enlightenment of whatever it is that you are looking for in the way of escape, and at the same time, being able to assert yourself, show the world just who you are and what you're made of. Let's have a look at the colours that are missing and see what we can ascertain from there. Well, we have black, we have white, we have red. There's no yellow, but we do have green. There is no blue as such, or brown, or orange, or grey, or purple, but you do have pink and you have cyan. So these colours here, these skills are the ones that you will be using throughout the month of December. What you're not so keen on using are these 6. Yellow has to do with being able to remember the past and learn from it. Blue has to do with getting yourself organized and making sure that you are looking after yourself. Brown is setting goals and also developing the practical skills that are necessary in order to attain those goals. Orange is all about surviving a crisis, a calamity. Grey has to do with finding that middle ground, that middle path that will allow you to tread carefully, whatever it is that you're doing. And purple has to do with being able to create the sort of dramatic changes that will enable you to feel healed and at home with yourself. From these, please choose the one colour that is most appealing and then the one colour that is least appealing, and apply those into your life somehow. Make sure that you notice those two colours as you go throughout the month, and you'll find that your journey through the month will actually be quite a deal easier than it would otherwise be when we look at this. Let's examine what the Oracle has to say on the subject. And it says, change. Well, that's what this is all about. You have change that comes from asserting yourself, change that comes from withdrawing and determining what your values really are and where you're going to take them. Change comes from having found your new path and being able to rest and relax within that. Change, it's a wonderful way of ending the month of December. Well, the reading has been fairly short this time. That's partially because of the time constraints. December is a very busy month for most of us, so I don't have much time, and I dare say neither do you. And I dare say that a shorter reading would be far more beneficial to you. But I do have an offer on the table. If you've gotten this far and you've actually listened to the entirety of the reading and you feel it has something in it for you, why not contact me on my Gmail account, which is in the description. I'll also put it in the show notes. And in doing so, take up an offer of a free personal reading that we can do either via Zoom, such as a discussion here and now, or I can do it anonymously for you. But you need to ask for it. The decision is yours. In the meantime, thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And if you have any questions or any comments to make, those would be appreciated down in the comments section, which tends to be fairly bare most of the time. Anyway, may you have a wonderful December. May the colours that you choose work for you in a way that enables you to feel at peace and in harmony with the world and all around. And let's look forward to a 2026 that is a little less chaotic than this year has been. Until next time, bye.